children, welcome to AIMS India's online classes. So in the previous class we have learned about the different parts of a circle and radius and diameter. Yes, so in today's class let us start with some exercise problems on the same topic. Now what is this? Write the center and radius of the following circles. So we are given a few circles here, children. We should write the center and radius. Coming to the circle A, what is the center for it? The middle point, that is A. A becomes the center. And what is the radius, children? Radius is a line segment joining our center and any point on the circle. So this line segment becomes our radius. And what is the name of that? AB. So radius is nothing but our AB. Now coming to circle B. Again, what is the center? The point in the middle, that is X. And what is the radius, children? Radius is this line segment that is joining the center and a point on the circle. So XY. XY becomes the radius of the given circle. Circle C, again the center here becomes the point O and radius becomes this line segment OD. Clear? This is the center and radius of a given circle. Now question 2. Draw the radius and the diameter for the following circles. So we'll draw the radius with color red and we'll draw the diameter with color blue. Okay, children? See, now coming first to the radius. How to draw the radius? We have to join a line segment. Put any point on the circle, anywhere on the circle, and join the center and line segment. Join the center and the point on the circle. By doing this, we got our radius. So this red line is our radius. If you want, we can name the center as O and the point on the circle as A. So OA becomes the radius of the given circle. Now coming to diameter, there are two conditions for a line segment to be a diameter. What are they? That is, it should pass through the center of the circle and both of its endpoints should lie on the circle. See, now these are the two endpoints of the given line segment. They are on the circle. Both the endpoints are on the circle and it is passing through the center of the circle. So again, if you name these points here as B and C, then BC becomes our diameter. Radius is equal to OA and diameter is equal to what, children? BC. Yes. So this it's not necessary that you have to draw in the same way for it to be radius and diameter. Even if I draw somewhere like this or like this or like this, all these can be considered as diameters. Yes, what are the two conditions it should satisfy? First, it should pass through the center of the circle and both the endpoints should be on the circle. And even for radius, children, this or this or this or this, anything which is joining the center and any point on the circle will become the radius of the given circle. Now coming to circle B, again radius, we can draw the radius like this, center O, point A. So OA becomes the radius. Now coming to diameter, we will draw it exactly in the middle. As BC becomes the diameter. I hope this is clear. Now another, again this becomes our diameter and this line, red line, becomes our radius. If we call it as O, A, B, C and D, OA is equal to radius, CD is equal to diameter. Now coming to question 3, identify the diameters of the circle and write them. So here the circle is having many line segments. Now from this we have to find out which ones qualify as the diameter. What is the first condition again? The first condition is that, children, the diameter should pass through the center of the circle. Where is the center of the circle? Here, O. Now let us see which are those line segments that are passing through this center. We have this one and then we have this one. we are having only these two line segments. What are they? AB and KL. From the entire figure, we are having only these two line segments that are passing through. See, KL and AB. Only these two are passing through the center of the circle. Now coming to the next condition, what is it? The end point should be on the circle. If you observe, AB is having both its endpoints on the circle, and even KL is having both the endpoints on the circle. So these two, that are AB and KL, qualify as diameters of the given circle. If you look at line segment EF, it is not exactly passing through the center, it is somewhat beside the center of the circle. But for the diameter, what do we want, children? We want to be passing through the center of the circle. So from the given line segments, only AB and KL can be called as the diameters for the given circle. Now question 4. In the given figure, in the given diagram, AC is equal to 5 centimeters. Now write the measurements of the following. Where is our AC? This is our AC, the black one. AC is equal to how much? 5 centimeters. What is AC here, children? For the circle, it becomes the radius of the circle, isn't it? It is joining the center and a point on the circle. So it will become the radius. So what is the conclusion from this question? We can conclude that radius of the given circle is equal to 5 centimeters. Now what should we find out? The measurements of AB. What is AB? Here, this is AB. Again, AB is also the radius of the circle. Yes, it is joining the center and a point. So just now what did we learn? Radius equal to 5 centimeters. As AB is also the radius, AB is equal to 5 centimeters. Then we have FG. Here we have our FG. Now if you look at FG is the diameter of the circle. Yes, it is passing through the center of the circle, and it is having both the endpoints on the circle. So FG is equal to diameter. We have radius is equal to 5 centimeters. What is the relationship between the diameter and the radius, children? Diameter is equal to 2 into radius. So it becomes 2 into 5. That is equal to 10 centimeters. The diameter of the circle will be equal to 10 centimeters. So why are we finding out the diameter here? Because we are finding out the measure of FG. FG is nothing but the diameter. So diameter is equal to 10 centimeters. FG is equal to 10 centimeters. Next, what do we have? The next one, AF. So from A till F. AF. Again, is AF a radius or the diameter? It is radius. Yes. So again, radius is equal to 5 centimeters. Then we have AE. From A till E. Center to the point on the circle. So again, this also qualifies as the radius of the given circle, which is equal to 5 centimeters. Then lastly we have AD, children. AD. Again, AD also qualifies as what? Is it the diameter? No, it is the radius of the given circle, as it is joining the center of the circle and a point on the circle. So the measure of AD becomes how much? 5 centimeters. I hope this is clear. Just we had the measurement of AC. So with the help of that, we have found out the measurement of all the remaining. Yes or no, children? So this is how you can use the relationship between the radius and diameter to find out the measurements. Now coming to question 5. Find the radii of the circle whose diameters are given below. What are given below? Diameters are given below. So that means diameter is equal to 14. Diameter is equal to 8 centimeters. Diameter is equal to 18 centimeters. And diameter is equal to 30 centimeters. The diameters for the given circles are already given. So what should we find out here, children? We should find out the radii. Radii is nothing but radius. The plural of radius is radii. Here we are finding out 4 radius. So that is why they are calling it as radii. It is nothing but the plural of radius. So what is the relationship between the radius and diameter here? We know that diameter is equal to 2 into radius, and radius is equal to how much? Diameter divided by 2. Yes, how can we find out the radius when we have the diameter, children? Radius is equal to diameter divided by 2. So the first question, diameter 14 centimeters. We know that radius is equal to diameter divided by 2, that is equal to 14 divided by 2. When we divide 14 by 2, we have 2 7s are 14. When we subtract, 0 becomes our remainder. So when we divide 14 by 2, the answer radius is equal to becomes 7 centimeters. Is this clear, children? So for the first question, when diameter is equal to 14 centimeters, then the radius is equal to 7 centimeters. Question B, diameter is equal to 8 centimeters. Then radius is equal to again diameter divided by 2, 8 divided by 2. We have 2 4s are 8. When we subtract, 0 is our remainder. So the answer is 4 centimeters. So when the diameter is 8 centimeters, radius is equal to 4 centimeters. Coming to question C, diameter is equal to 18. Again diameter is equal to 18 centimeters. Radius is equal to diameter divided by 2. 18 divided by 2, we have 2. 9s are 18. So radius of the given circle becomes 9 centimeters. A circle with diameter 18 centimeters has the radius equal to 9 centimeters. Coming to question D, diameter is equal to 30 centimeters. Then radius is equal to diameter divided by 2. 30 divided by 2, that is equal to how much? 2 1s are 2. When we subtract, 1 is remaining, 0 brought down. 2 5s are 10. When we subtract, 0 is our remainder. So what is the answer here, children? 15 centimeters. As the diameter was given in centimeters, we have to write the radius also in centimeters. So the radius for the given question is 15 centimeters. I hope this is clear. How to find out the radius of the circle when the diameter is given. Now coming to question 6, find the diameters of the circle when radii are given below. What is given? Radius is already given. Radius is equal to 3 centimeters, 5 centimeters, 11 centimeters, 15 centimeters. See, radii are given below. Radius is already given below. Now we should find out the diameter. How will we find out, children? Diameter is equal to 2 into radius. Yes, diameter is equal to 2 into radius. So coming to the first question, radius is equal to 3 centimeters. Diameter is equal to 2 into radius. That is equal to 2 into 3 centimeter. That is equal to how much? 2 3s are 6 centimeters. So for the given question, when the radius is 3 centimeters, the diameter will be equal to 6 centimeters. So the answer is 6 centimeters. Question B, radius is equal to 5 centimeters. Diameter is equal to 2 into radius. 2 into 5 centimeters, that is equal to 10 centimeters. So the diameter is 10 centimeters here. When a circle has radius equal to 5 centimeters, then the diameter will be equal to 10 centimeters. Coming to question C, radius is equal to 11 centimeters. Diameter is equal to 2 into radius, that is 2 into 11 centimeters. 2 11s are 22. Yes, children. So diameter is equal to 22 centimeters. The answer is 22 centimeters. And lastly we have radius is equal to 15 centimeters. Then the diameter becomes 2 into radius, 2 into 15 centimeters, that is equal to 30 centimeters. So the diameter of the given circle is 30 centimeters. I hope this is clear, children. With this we have come to the end of the topic circles. In circles we have learned about how to draw the circles, what are the different types of the circles, so what are the different parts of the circles, and also how to find out the radius when diameters are given, and how to find out the diameter. Moving on to the next topic, that is symmetry. A figure is said to be symmetrical if it has mirror halves. What are they saying, children? If you look at this figure here, we can say that it is symmetrical when it has mirror halves. We all know what is a mirror. We always look at ourselves in the mirror, right? So when we look in the mirror, what do we see? Do we see exactly how we are, or do we see a reflection of another person? We see how we are. Yes, when we look at something in the mirror, we'll get the exact picture of what it actually is. Yes, we will not get a different picture. For example, if I am having an apple on the table, sorry, this doesn't look like an apple, but please, okay children, we have an apple on the table. When we look in the mirror, even in the mirror we'll see an apple. Yes, we will not see an orange or a mango or something else. We'll see the exact picture in the mirror. We'll see the exact thing in the mirror. So what does mirror half here means? The exact similar half. If you look at the picture shown here, place a mirror at the dotted line. You can observe that the image in the mirror is exactly the same as the first half. Therefore, the picture is said to be symmetrical when the other half of the image is the mirror half. That means if you place a mirror here and look, okay children, we can see this part's reflection in the mirror, right? So the same what is visible in the mirror is the same as what is the other half of the picture. What we can see in the mirror and the other half of the picture, both are the same. Understood? What we can see in the mirror and the other half are both the same. So when we have such figures, then we call them as symmetrical figures. This concept is known as symmetry. When we have mirror halves, when we can find out the mirror half of the image along a dotted line, this line becomes the line of symmetry. When or else when we for example, let us look at another picture. Okay, the dotted line is known as the line of symmetry. If we fold the picture along the dotted line, then the two parts of the picture will coincide. Now again, this is an activity which you can try out, children. Draw a shape like this, a flower or a square or a rectangle, or even you can draw a triangle. Now what you can do is, you have to first draw the shape on the paper, on a piece of paper, and cut the paper according to the shape you have drawn. Now after cutting, fold the piece of paper in such a way that the figure overlaps. For example, if I take this triangle, if I fold the triangle here, this part is when I fold the triangle here in the middle, then we can see that this part and this part will overlap. These two parts are exactly the same. They are folded exactly. Understood, children? So when we have such pictures which we can fold exactly, which we can fold such that both the parts overlap each other, they are called as nothing but mirror halves. These are nothing but the mirror halves of the given figure, and the line is called as the line of symmetry, and the figure is said to be symmetrical. And the figure is said to be symmetrical. Now suppose if I have a shape like this. Look at this shape here, children, the one in the red color. Let us erase the remaining one so that you will not get confused. Okay, now look at this shape or figure here. Now can I fold it in such a way that both the halves will be exactly the same? Now if I fold it here, see, this will be an extra. This will be an extra. Okay, now apart from that, so that is the example of one image or figure that is not symmetrical. The two halves will not be exactly the same. But when we have a figure whose two halves can be exactly the same, then it is called as a symmetrical figure. And the line along which we will get symmetrical halves is called as the line of symmetry. Now for this particular figure here, we have got so many lines of symmetry. See, when I fold this figure along this line, if you observe, both are mirror halves, both are exactly the same. Yes, so it is called as the line of symmetry, and the figure is symmetrical even when I fold it along this line. Both the parts will exactly overlap each other. So again, this is also the line of symmetry for the given figure. Again, even when I fold it along this line, or else even when I fold it along this line. So this particular figure has how many lines of symmetry, children? 1, 2, 3 and 4 lines of symmetry. So from this, what can we understand? We understand that a particular figure need not have only one line of symmetry. Need not have only one line of symmetry. It can have more than one line of symmetry. Now look at the figure. Place the mirror along the dotted lines. Identify the line of symmetry and mark it. Yes or no? When we place the mirror here, if you have any small mirrors with you, children, you can place the mirror along any figure you have. Any figure you can find in a textbook or somewhere. You can use the help of, with the help of a mirror, you can find out whether the given figure is symmetrical or not, and also you can identify the line of symmetry. Now what is the symmetry? When is a figure said to be symmetrical? A figure is said to be symmetrical when it has two mirror halves, or when we fold it along the line of symmetry, both the halves should be exactly the same and both the parts should coincide. Coincide is nothing but overlap each other. Now coming to the exercise problems here. Now tick the line of symmetry in the following figures. Now what should we do, children? In the figures, they have given us two lines. Line 1 and line 2. Line 1 and line 2. Line 1 and line 2. Now from these two lines, only one is the line of symmetry. The other is not a line of symmetry. So we have to tick the line which is the line of symmetry. Coming to the first one, that is the figure of a peacock. If you look at the blue line here, children, see, this is the half 1 and this is the part 2. So let us say half 1 and half 2. Now are these both halves exactly the same? Are these identical? Are these the mirror halves? No. See, they are not the same. Both the halves should be exactly the same for the line to be a line of symmetry. But here both the halves are not the same. So this is not our line of symmetry. Now coming to the red line here, this dotted line. Now when you observe, see, now when you observe both the halves, that is this one and this one, we can see that both the halves are exactly the same. They are the mirror halves of each other. So that is why this line we can call it as the line of symmetry. Is this clear, children? From the given two lines, the red line is the line of symmetry here. Now coming to the figure B. Now even in figure B we've got two lines. Coming to the first line, if we fold the figure along this dotted line, will the two halves coincide? No. See, here we are having a shape like this, but here we do not have any shape like this. So that is why both the halves are not identical. They are not the mirror halves. So this particular line will not be our line of symmetry. Now coming to the other line, this one. Now when we fold this given figure along the dotted line, children, will we see that the parts are coinciding or overlapping each other? Yes, if we observe, both the sides are exactly the same. Both the sides are exactly the same. So this line qualifies as the line of symmetry. Now coming to figure C, again we can see five girls dancing here. Yes or no? Now come again, this also has two lines. If you look at the first line, if you look at this line, see children, now this line is also dividing the figure into two parts. But are these two parts identical? Are these the mirror halves of each other? No. So this line is not our line of symmetry. Now coming to the other line, that is this vertical line. Now when we observe both the parts of the figure divided by this vertical line, we are finding that both are the mirror halves of each other. Both are the mirror halves of each other. So this line is our line of symmetry. Is this clear, children? From the given three figures, see the ticked one. The ticked ones are the lines of symmetry. Now coming to question D again. Can you tell me, is it the orange line or the red line? Yes, the red line will be the line of symmetry for figure D. Now for figure E, when we talk about the blue line here, see children, again this blue line is dividing the figure into two halves, but these two halves are not identical. So blue is not the line of symmetry. But when we look at the red line is dividing the figure into two identical halves, that is two exact halves. So the red line becomes the line of symmetry here. Draw the mirror halves of the following figures to complete them. Now this is easy, children. You just have to draw as it is, which is on the other side. See, here we are having a C. So draw the same C. Then we are having a shape like this. So draw this. Then we have a complete petal. Then again we have a complete petal. Then a complete petal. And then we are having a half petal. So draw the half petal. Again for figure B. Now look at this shape. The same shape is to be drawn here. And then we are having lines. It is like this. So like this. Understood? With the line of symmetry, this is the line of symmetry here. With the help of line of symmetry, we are able to complete these figures. Now even this. It is here. So here. Then here. And then here. Then we are having two lines like this. So two lines. Then we are having a triangle on top. Yes, understood? So again, when the drawing that we have drawn should be such that when we fold the figure over the dotted line, both the halves should be exactly the same. They should overlap each other. Is this clear, children? Yes. So this is about the concept of symmetry. Now coming to cross-curricular link, we have to find out the mirror halves of the letter of the English alphabet when written in capital letters. So for example, if we take the letter A, what is the line of symmetry here? This will be the line of symmetry, and these two are the mirror halves. When we come to B, what will be the mirror line of symmetry? This will be the line of symmetry, and these two will be the mirror halves. It is not necessary that each object or each alphabet has to have the line of symmetry. If we look at the alphabet Q, now does Q have any line of symmetry here? No. See, even if we take like this, it's not possible. Even if we take like this, it's not possible. See, so Q is such an alphabet for whom we cannot find out the line of symmetry. Yes, children. Now another cross curricular link. There are many animals which are symmetrical. Some of them are given below. Try to find some more examples. See children, beetle. See, if we draw the line of symmetry here or place the mirror here, we'll see that the other part is exactly similar to the mirror half. Again, even for the starfish, this can be the line of symmetry. For the butterfly, this will be the line of symmetry. For the crab, this will be the line of symmetry. Not only these animals, but also if you look at all the flowers of our nature or all the leaves of our nature, yes, so all these also follow the principle of symmetry. That is why our nature looks so beautiful. Why? Because it follows the principle of symmetry. As both the, see, it is having mirror halves, both are exactly the same, it will look really beautiful, children. Yes, so what you can do is you can draw. What was the first activity that we discussed? Draw any shape you want on a piece of paper, cut it and try to find out the line of symmetry by folding it. Now another interesting thing that you can do is